France have a problem most national teams would dream of having. They do not have one superstar. They do not have one good winger. They do not even have one obvious front three. They have Kylian Mbappe, Ousmane Dembele, Michael Olise, Bradley Barcola, Desire Doué, Ryan Cherki, Marcus Thuram, and Jean-Philippe Mateta, all fighting for space in the same attacking picture. And that is before you even talk about the midfield behind them, the defenders protecting them, or the goalkeeper who lets France play with confidence. So the question is not whether France have enough talent to win the World Cup. The real question is more uncomfortable. Can Didier Deschamps turn all of this attacking talent into a team? Because France are not just one of the favorites for 2026. On paper, they might be the most frightening squad in the tournament. But World Cups are not won on paper. They are won by balance, timing, and decisions that look obvious only after the trophy is lifted. And for France, the first decision starts with the player who changes the entire map. Kylian Mbappe is not just a forward, he is gravity. When Mbappe starts on the left, the whole opposition backline leans toward him. The right back drops earlier. The nearest center-back cheats a cross. The defensive midfielder starts protecting that channel before the ball even arrives. That is what separates Mbappe from a normal winger. He does not just beat defenders. He forces teams to defend spaces he has not even attacked yet. For France, that creates two different teams inside one team. There is France in slow possession, where Mbappe can receive, isolate, and attack the box. And there is France in transition, where one loose pass can become a sprint into open grass, and suddenly every defender is running toward their own goal. That is why Mbappe is still the reference point. But the danger for France is that the team cannot become only Mbappe, plus 10 players reacting to him. If France want to win the World Cup, Mbappe has to be the main weapon, not the entire system. And that is where Ousmane Dembele changes everything. Dembele is chaos. Beautiful chaos, but still chaos. He can go left, he can go right, he can receive wide, drift inside, switch feet, accelerate from nothing, and create a chance from a situation that looked dead. Against compact teams, that matters. Because World Cup favorites often face opponents who do not want to play football in a normal way. They want to survive. They want to slow the game down. They want to force the favorite into frustration. Dembele is one of the few players who can break that kind of game without needing perfect structure. But he also creates a question for Deschamps. How much chaos can France carry before the balance starts to break? If Dembele plays with total freedom, France become harder to read. But they also need protection behind him. They need the right fullback. They need the right midfielder. They need rest defense. So Dembele is not just a starter decision. He is a tactical decision. And then comes Michael Olise. Olise gives France something different. He is not just another fast winger. He is a left-footed solution from the right side. He can receive between the lines, pause, disguise the pass, shoot across goal, or bend the ball into the far post. He is the kind of player who makes the attack feel more controlled. If Dembele is the chaos engine, Olise is the cleaner weapon. He lets France attack without rushing. And that is important because in tournaments, not every game is played at full speed. Sometimes the best team has to wait. Sometimes the gap opens for half a second. Sometimes the whole match is decided by one pass into the right pocket. Olise can be that player. But again, the same question returns. If Olise starts, who sits? Because Bradley Barcola is not a normal bench option. Barcola gives France depth. Not depth as in squad depth. Real depth. Running depth. The kind of speed that pushes a fullback 5 yards deeper just because he is on the pitch. When Barcola stays wide and attacks the space behind, France become wider, faster, and more vertical. That matters especially when Mbappe moves inside or when the opponent tries to crowd the middle. Barcola can stretch the pitch. He can attack tired defenders. He can make a game feel completely different in the last 20 minutes. And that is the luxury France have. Some countries would build their attack around a player like Barcola. France might use him as a weapon from the bench. Then you add Desire Doué and Ryan Cherki, and the problem becomes almost unfair. Doué brings imagination, carrying power, and a kind of unpredictability that can tilt a match when structure is not enough. Cherki brings invention. He sees angles that are not obvious. He can receive in crowded spaces, turn, combine, and create the pass that changes the rhythm of the game. Neither of them needs to be the main star to matter. At a World Cup, one wildcard can change everything. One creative substitute against a tired block. One brave carry through midfield. one disguise pass when everybody expects the safe option. That is why France's attacking depth is not just about names, it is about solutions. Mbappe gives gravity, Dembele gives chaos, Olise gives control, Barcola gives depth, Doué and Cherki give imagination, and then, if France want a different kind of problem for defenders, they can use a physical number 9 profile. Marcus Thuram, Jean-Philippe Mateta, a striker who pins center-backs, attacks crosses, competes for second balls, and lets Mbappe or Dembele play around him instead of always through him. That changes the entire shape. With a physical striker, France can become more direct. They can cross earlier, they can attack rebounds, they can force center-backs into uncomfortable duels. But it also means one of the artists loses a starting place. And this is why Deschamps has the hardest job in the tournament. France have enough attacking talent to scare anyone. But if you put too much attacking talent on the pitch at once, the team can lose control. This is where the tactical problem begins. France can play like a 4-3-3. Mbappe on the left, Dembele or Olise on the right. A striker pinning the center-backs, 3 midfielders behind them. That version gives France width, speed, and a familiar tournament structure. But France can also tilt toward a 4-2-3-1. Mbappe central or left, Olise between the lines, Dembele free on the other side, Doué or Cherki as a creator. More talent, more imagination, more danger, but also more risk. Because the more creators you add, the more important the midfield protection becomes. That is why Aurélien Tchouaméni is so important. He is not the headline player in a video about France's attack, but he might be the player who allows the attack to exist. If Tchouaméni controls the space behind the ball, France can take risks. If he protects the center, France can let fullbacks push. If he wins second balls, France can keep pressure after the first attack fails. Then you add players like Eduardo Camavinga, Warren Zaïre-Emery, Adrien Rabiot, or N'Golo Kanté, and you start to see the real formula. France do not just need talent, they need the right amount of talent. That sounds simple, but it is not. Tournament football punishes imbalance. If France become too open, one counter-attack can destroy them. If France become too cautious, they waste the deepest attack in the competition. So the line between favorite and failure is not wide. It is one tactical decision. It is one selection choice. It is one player too many or one player too few. The reason France can even consider this much attacking power is the safety net behind it. Mike Maignan gives them calm in goal. William Saliba gives them defensive control. Ibrahima Konate gives them power, recovery, and dual strength. Jules Koundé gives them a full-back or center-back profile who understands balance. And when France are at their best, the defenders are not just defending the box. They are defending the attack. They allow the forwards to take risks because they can handle open space. They allow France to keep the pitch high because they can win duels. They allow the team to attack with confidence because the structure behind the ball is strong. That is the hidden advantage. France are not only explosive, they are protected, but the World Cup will test that protection immediately because Group 1 is not a walkover. France have Senegal, Iraq, and Norway. On paper, France should win the group. But each opponent asks a different question. Senegal asked the physical question. Can France handle contact, transitions, emotional intensity, and a team that will not be intimidated by names? Senegal are not the kind of opponent that gives you a clean football match. They can make it messy. They can make it direct. They can make every duel feel like a warning. For France, that game is about control. Do not get dragged into chaos. Do not lose second balls. Do not let one bad pass become a full-field transition. Then there is Iraq. That is the emotional trap. Against a team like Iraq, France will be expected to dominate. But those are exactly the games where favorites can become impatient. If the first goal does not arrive early, the match changes. The underdog starts to believe. The crowd starts to feel it. Every blocked shot becomes energy. Every counter-attack becomes hope. France need patience there. They need Olise-style control, not only Mbappe-style speed. They need to move the block, not force the game too early. And then there is Norway. That is the danger game. Because Norway might not control the whole match, but they do not need to. If Erling Haaland gets one clean touch in the box, the game can change. If Martin Odegaard has time to turn and find the pass, France can be defending their own goal within seconds. That is why Norway are the opponent that tests France's balance the most. Not because Norway have more talent, Because they have a very clear route to hurting you. One mistake, one pass, one Haaland touch. So yes, France are favorites, but being favorites is not the same as being safe. The final question is Deschamps. He has the biggest squad. He has the deepest attack. He has the defensive base. He has the captain. He has the experience. But he also has the hardest decisions. Does he choose Dembele's chaos or Ulisses' control? Does he start Barcola or keep him as the late-game weapon? Does he trust Doué or Cherki in high-pressure moments? Does he use a physical striker to free Mbappe? Or does he keep the front line faster and more fluid? Does he protect the midfield with one more worker? Or does he put one more artist on the pitch? That is the real France story, not whether they have enough talent. They clearly do. The question is whether the talent becomes a team. If Deschamps gets the balance wrong, France could look like a team with too many stars and not enough rhythm. But if he gets it right, this attack can overwhelm the tournament. Mbappe running into space, Dembele breaking the structure, Ulisses controlling the pocket, Barcola stretching tired legs, Doué and Cherki waiting to change the game. And behind them, a defensive spine strong enough to let the attack breathe. That is why France might be the most dangerous team at the 2026 World Cup. Not because they have one superstar, because they have too many answers. And if those answers finally become one system, France can win it all.